So in the past weeks, we were looking at shorting at this area. Now price showed us something different. Price showed that it will break above, and that's where you can have to adapt and change your view on it. Good morning traders, welcome back to Montreal on this Monday morning. I want you guys to be ready, of course, as always, for the trading week. For today's video, it's going to be technical, of course, as every single Monday. It is the same thing all the time. I'll go through one trade example and the rest will go through the pairs. This helps me look at the chart and it should help you know what to trade also. If you want to see how I do things, how I look at the market, this is perfect for that. So we'll go to the chart. First pair we'll look at is AOD I like to look at this three graph kind of view of the market. So I always look at the weekly chart, the forward chart, and the 1 hour chart. Those are always there. And the reason for this is that I have the weekly chart as my reference. So the chart I look at for my zones. The forward chart and the 1 hour chart will be used for trading purposes. So entering trades on a day-to-day basis. So what you'll notice on AOD and we'll take the weekly chart for here as a reference, is that we are back at a support area, okay, at 0.94, a support where we bounced in the past. Now look at what happened. This is interesting. So a couple of weeks back, actually in July 2016, price went to that zone, pushed back up, okay, pretty strongly, and went all the way to 1.03. Now for a while, price consolidated a little bit between these two areas. So bounce over here, come back down, bounce, come back down, bounce, and break the level. Okay, and we came back down to 0.94, where we were a long time ago. Now this is a place where you look for bullish evidence to enter buy trades. But I just want you guys to be careful about what's happening here. So we can see that price pushed back to the level, went a little bit lower, I believe, than here, but didn't close lower. Okay, it just respected that level right here. Now, usually when I see a level like this, the thing that makes me say, well, we've passed the level now, is when I see price closing below the lowest low that we had before. Let's look at this low over here, 0.9323 or 24, whatever. And over here, the lowest we've been closing was, I believe, this one, 0.9323. Okay, so we're pretty much at the same level. Now it's going to be a question of seeing whether we break below this close over here, and that will signify us that we are going to change zones. But for now, we'll set the zones, so I still look for bullish sit-ups. And I think we have nothing on this pair so far. See how this was pretty strong. This is pretty strong too. We didn't have any bullish sit-up yet on this pair. What makes me think that this is going to break down even more is how price kind of push, and then we had this big wick, and all the bears, all the sellers pushing price back down. Okay, so big evidence of bearish potential move. Okay, so this pair I'll keep it flagged. It's flagged on my watch list, but I expect more of a breakdown than a reversal. It could be the opposite. But until we close below the past low of 2016 on the weekly chart, I'm still bullish, and I'll still wait for a reversal on that pair. But it's unlikely to happen in my opinion. AOD is doing something similar, although this one kind of break down already below these lows. So now you look more for bearish setup on this, okay, at the zone. As a potential retest of the zone, I look for price to pull back up to the level and then fall back down. And this is kind of what we see over here. Now we didn't have any setup, I believe, on this. No. I'm looking for setup, of course, with the puncture band, the higher band and the lower band. In this case, the higher band, because we're looking for bearish setups. But we'll see what happens. I'll keep this flag, and it's interesting to look at. AOD is doing the same thing, so in a different manner, but it's been breaking above this resistance area here in the past. Now coming back to retest this as a support, and so far it doesn't look like it's going to bounce too much, because like we see price just went up a little bit, wick, up a little bit, small wick, up a little bit, kind of a doji, and a small candlestick over here. But I actually took one trade on this. So keep in mind that we're at a support area looking for bullish sit-up to bring price back to 1.12. And you see on the forward chart where price was consolidating a little bit. Price went down over here. But look how this engulfing candle here kind of stands out from the other ones. Okay, so we had this big push, wick of the bull pushing back up. Here again, wick of the bull pushing back up. And then we get another test and small candlestick here, breaking outside the Bollinger Band. And then an engulfing candle. So the way I've entered this is you enter above the high of this candlestick, what's triggered on the next one, stop loss below the low, and you are at risk of 3-to-1 in my case. I think 3-to-1 is like here, and then 1-to-1 to take partial profit, kind of lock in the profit, is over here. Okay, so we didn't reach out this one yet, but I believe price might like reverse over here as it seems to be doing and pull back up. Keep in mind, this is always a game of probabilities. It's not going to happen all the time, but it might happen most of the time, and that's what I'm kind of counting on this trade. And that is it for the trade. If you guys have any question on this, comment below with your thoughts or your questions. I'll answer for sure, and we might need to clarify, of course. As with every trade, I don't touch it, I don't modify it, it's just there, and we'll get to see what price does. It might either take profit or not. In both cases, I'm totally fine, but this is the thought process of that trade. AUD-SGD is an example of messy pair you don't want to have to trade. AUD-USD is doing something random too, between two zones. CAD-CHF seems like it pushed back up really strongly in the past week, and we had no trade set up on this, unless you decide to trade other time frame, which might work out really well. I'm not sure how this looked on the 30-minute chart or the 15-minute chart. In any case, this area, 0.74, we thought to be a support area, kind of worked out well, and could have been a good trade opportunity for different people and different type of traders. Now, next thing to wait for this pair is the zone above, so 0.79. 78 to 79 over here. Okay, this is the area right there, where you're gonna wait and look for bearish setups, and you have to wait till price reach that level. I'll unflag the pair because it's gonna take some weeks or at least a couple of days, and we'll wait till that happens to trade. Euro AUD is also between two levels, although this one's coming back over here to retest the level. Could be good if you trade pullbacks and kind of retest of an area. A really good level. Okay, so I would be looking for bullish setup at this zone 1.60, but so far we had no setup. Price just pulled back down. So in the past weeks we were looking at shorting at this area. Now price showed us something different. Price showed that it will break above, and that's where you can have to adapt and change your view on it. And I said, well, now we can look for two things. Either price is gonna go back here and might reverse, okay, so 1.65, or it might come back down, retest level, push back up. Now we have the retest scenario, and you need to act based on that. If you try to take reversal trades at this level, not the best. So you might want to adjust your view on this, in my opinion. So we can flag this one, by the way. EuroCAD is back to 1.50, the support area. So let me flag this one over here right now. And we look for bullish setup here. So in the past, look at what price did on the weekly chart. We went to this 1.50 level first, over here. Now push back above as we expected. That was short-lived because price went back down to 1.50. So this could mean that's kind of the last push before we break the level. It could really possibly be that. You still want to look for bullish evidence at this level. And until it breaks once again below this low over here and close below the low, I'm still looking for bullish trades. After that I'll look for the opposite, but for now it's still bullish trades on this pair. Euro GBP is between two zones. We are not going to touch that for the week. Euro USD is still at this support area at 1.14 to 1.17. Looks like we had some bearish moves the past week. This pair, in my opinion, is kind of in the place where it's too messy a little bit to trade. So I tend to avoid trading it for now. Like this was good to trade back over here. But now because it's just up and down in a range, it's not that nice to trade, in my opinion. So I kind of keep this one not very close by. And I don't like to trade it, but I'll still keep it flagged to watch and see what happens. JP CAD is between two zones. We're not going to touch that also. GPCHF doing the same thing, although we're really close to 1.30, the round number resistance area, where we could look for bearish setups. So see the arrow here, exactly what we look for. A push all the way to 1.30 and then a bearish shingle at this level. So I'll keep this one flagged, and we'll look for setup when it gets to the zone a little bit more. JPGPY is back at a resistance area at 148. There was a trade which I talked about here last week, and you can look for bearish setup at this zone like I showed you here in the past, and this one is still going on. JPNZD is back at a resistance area at 1.96. You can look for bearish setup there. So far we have nothing. This didn't even come close to the upper band of the Bollinger Band, and this one over here is at the lower band. Now depending on exactly what candlestick pattern you decide to trade, you could be trading that could happen. For example, over here we had a pretty cool hammer we could call. So that could have been a good trading opportunity. You enter below the low, stop loss above the high, and you work to risk of 31. In my experience, hammers are not that reliable. They work only on some pairs, but you could look into it and make a strategy pair by pair if you want. And that could be a way to get more setup also, if you really want to get more setup. I personally prefer not, but you could go with that if you prefer, okay? I'm kind of giving you ideas because I want you guys to be sufficient to yourself and able to look for opportunities. That's one of them I would look at if I were you. GPUSD is between two zones, although it's coming back to retest this 1.31 area. So you look for bearish setup there in my opinion. And here we have no trade, same thing over here. I'm kind of reviewing all the time because I want to make sure I didn't miss any trade, of course. Any setup I could show you, but we got nothing at this zone. So you wait for bearish setup there. I'll keep this one flag, and I'll be more cautious at this zone. USD CAD is back to its support area. So we talked about this one a few times at 1.29, 1.30 almost. And you look for a bullish up here, in my opinion. So price just went shoot down pretty heavily on the forward chart. And the 1 hour chart we had no setup. This is not a valid setup at all. So we can look for a trade at this zone over here. So I'll make sure I keep this pair flag and look for setups. USDJPY is between two zones, although it's really coming close to 114. Good place to look for bearish setup. Now price just shoot up and we have no setup so far. But it's going to be a good week to look at that pair closely, in my opinion. And finally, USD SJD is between two levels once again. I was expecting price to reach 1.39. It's not there yet. We have to wait a little bit. And then look for a trade setup. But for now, not much to look at. I'll just flag this one over here to make sure. And that is it for the pair. So guys, we've done the whole review, the whole thing. I showed you an example of trade on AUD and ZD. If you want to see more trade example like this, I'll put a playlist below you can go through for more trade example. It's also going to be linked here in the corner, I believe. And with that being said, I appreciate you guys. As always, comment below what you thought, give a like if you enjoyed this video today. And if you subscribe, click the bell next to the subscribe button. It's going to send you an alert when I publish a new video. And you don't want to miss all the video, of course, so that's not cool at all. Click that bell to make sure you get notified. And I'll catch you back here tomorrow for another video. Ciao!